You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
Last week, Marm was a winner and Chara was told to get the fuck.
This is your Welcome America Presents Drag Race UK Season 6, Episode 9, Send in the Clowns.
This week was the comedy roast, and as Fraser referenced, it had a clown theme. Sure.
Lavoie has basically won the entire show at this point, and Relisa and Lil were in the bottom two, and after a lip sync to a song I have never heard in my goddamn life, Lil was sent home with the immortal words, "Thanks for having me." I saw someone on Twitter saying they posted like you to your friend's mum after a sleepover. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. I am Ben.
I am Fraser.
Fraser like Razor.
And this is Drag Race Season Bloody 6 semi-final.
We got some. No, we don't request feedback for this show.
We sure don't.
We did get some feedback.
Got a couple of bits of feedback.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we sure did.
Hello, gals. This is producer Bree. This week's episode is amazing as usual, but I do have a correction for you. This week you said that Marm was in the House of Gorgeous, Cheddar Gorgeous, parentheses, derogatory. It is our beloved Lil. Lil is in the House of Gorgeous. I know. It's shocking, but it's true. If you guys need me back as a producer, just let me know. I'm here.
I think you'll find that Lil is in the Family Gorgeous, not Marmalade. But I can see why you'd think that.
So yes, as you can hear, we had a couple of people contact us to let me know that I was wrong and that I had assumed Marmalade was part of the Cheddar Gorgeous family. You know, mainly from demeanor, style, attitude, and location. Because, you know, Cardiff's just a hop and a skip over the Cheddar Gorge from from Bristol. So turns out Lil is really the one in House Gorgeous.
But Lil's probably like, yeah, I get it. All right. If you want me to join.
I think so too. I think she doesn't even know she's in the House of Gorgeous. She's like, you are? And they're like, yeah, you said yes about 3 years ago. Oh yeah, I don't remember that. No. She shrugs on that big duster cardi of hers. Oh yeah, I guess I'll do it. Also, just in the previously on, I don't normally comment on that, but I really liked just one quick cutaway of Chara's mum that just went, "You must be joking." She was very close to Nadine. Fucking hell. You must be fucking joking.
Okay, so after the elimination,
the first words we hear out of, I believe, Lil's mouth, out of Lavoie's mouth is, "Oh my giddy aunt."
Oh my giddy aunt.
That phrase that you have somehow gone through life never hearing.
Never heard.
That one must have not breached the wall of Hadrian.
Yeah, it got blocked. That's actually what why the wall was built.
There's just people on the England side just screaming, "Oh my giddy aunt." And the Scottish people are just tilling the fields, not understanding, not hearing it.
I like Lil at this section. She said, "Oh, so nice to meet everyone's family."
A lot of my notes from this week just say, "Oh, I bet Ben hated this," or "I bet Ben hated that." I said at one point, Kyron's gob is just wide open. They're just screaming something, and I said, "Oh, I bet Ben loved that moment."
Well, this whole section, well, actually, I'm thinking more of the de-dragging section, but the sound effects department, bling, blong, clink, blong, crunch, crunch,
honk, honk. Yeah,
it was everything.
Yeah, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at that.
Yeah.
And I like the bit where Lavoie's trying to help release her out of her wig, and she kind of humps her, and Relisa starts running around screaming that she's pregnant.
Someone says, "We're in the top 5." And you know my feelings on that.
My note is, Ben, final 5. Thoughts?
Well, someone says top 5, then someone changes to final 5. I'm like, pick one.
Better alliteration for final 5.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Final 5.
And I had a question for you here, because I noticed at this point that Kyron was getting out of her bin outfit. And I said, Kyron's bin branding isn't really sticking the landing that she thinks it is it? Remember she came in with the bin juice in the bin bag dress. And she's tried to do she's tried to really make it the thing. Things. It's not really stuck. When you think of Kyron, do you think of bins?
No.
I don't.
There needs to be like something. It's like if your name was Ashley, and you called yourself, bear with me,
Trashly.
Trashly.
Yeah.
And then therefore you kept it as a theme.
Well,
Or-
even remember, I know that a regular season of Drag Race will barely stick in your head, let alone a UK one, but Nymphia Wind, she did the banana thing for the entire season. She wore yellow or referenced bananas in almost every possible thing that she could.
Which was that's just stupid, because then there was that person Lemon, and everything they wore was yellow, right? What? That's right though.
No, you're not wrong, but
So,
it's just
like,
it's
why-
just it's just very funny. It's so far apart. It's so different. It's so like seasons have spanned since then, but I love that your brain, you just
Branding.
You cannot forget Lemon. It's so funny. The Canadian. You are so stuck on Lemon. It's the I think
clear.
Lemon's the only drag queen that you know from any franchise. If you got really tested.
Well, no, like Jimbo, I get, because like Jimbo's like a clown, and that's what Jimbo. So all to say, branding
From the same season.
Yeah, strong season. So all to say, if you've got like a strong, name that connects to your color and your aesthetic, I'm on it.
Name one US Drag Race queen. Go, now.
Alyssa Edwards.
I feel like maybe you could get Bianca Del Rio and then you're out.
Yeah, get back into. What about
Now.
Trinity the Tuck? I don't even know who that is.
This would be more fun if I held up pictures of people,
Oh,
I
I'm
guess, wouldn't it?
never gonna be able to work that out.
This is like when I quizzed Bordeaux about Marvel. Oh. He said that Elizabeth Holmes was playing Scarlet Envy. And I was like,
Is that fun?
oh, the woman that invented Theranos that went to prison is playing Scarlet Envy, the drag queen from Drag Race. It's Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch, is what he should have said.
I don't know what any of those words are.
Okay, so what else is
What are we
happening?
doing?
It's the next day.
Okay, it's the next day.
Yeah, we get a lot of badge kind of gubbins here. The usual badge gubbins, which I'm not interested in.
Because by this point, they're all badge winners. So whoever goes to... This is the first time a badge winner is going to get eliminated. Is that right? Who knows? All to say, they're all badge winners, and the badge winner is going tonight.
Badgy badge.
Yeah, badge. Bodger and badge.
And Lavoie says that they're all trying to get these badges like seagulls around a dropped chip on the pier. It's like, well, if anyone knows the pier, that's Lavoie. She's been to that one in Great Yarmouth that I talked about, no doubt.
Imagine in the winter, wrapped up, walking along the pier, freezing, eating some gooey hot chips.
Really hot chips in the kind of cone.
Oh, the cone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not.
I'm
acquainted
talking a
with the
cone of. It's a cone of paper. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of, not the polystyrene cones that have replaced them.
No. I'm more interested in that the kind of brown paper type thing, and you're opening up, and it's like you're holding a baby.
Yeah, hot baby.
Yeah, hot gooey deep fried baby. Yummy. Oh, I wonder if I'll get fish and chips when I go back. That could be good. Right, I'll do that. Right, that's that done.
So video message is, my queens, what should you do if you're attacked by a mob of clowns? Go for the juggler. Okay,
Pretty good.
solid pun.
Yeah, made sense.
For once, one singular joke, not 7 weird puns kind of strapped together.
Yeah.
So I liked that. So Rue comes in and says that you need to make us chuckle at this year's comedy roast where you will all be dressed as clowns. And it's going to be called the Send in the Clowns roast. Okay. There was I'm now having trouble remembering, but I know that last year, because they showed flashes of it, it was like a heaven and hell themed roast. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that was the Ella Day one. There was like the one with Michael Marulli. She was dressed in some inexplicable outfit, and I remember it didn't have any
you're
bearing
right.
on the roast. Gladiators.
But at least a gladiator. Well, no, I guess you could say a clown is comedy and entertainment,
Right,
so it does
right.
make sense. I just hate that theme. But gladiator, at least you are like attacking others.
Sure.
Heaven and hell.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Anyway.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to get dressed as clowns. Immediately, Relisa, she ain't excited.
No.
I would say.
But she gets to choose the performance order.
I know, which is hilarious.
My note was, how about you try not putting yourself in the order at all?
Well, I'm gonna Rue's up first, and I'm gonna take Rue's seat.
Completely. And she's like, well, I can't be eliminated.
Okay, total side note. I'm sure there's been on some season somewhere, like a, bare necessities type runway theme, okay? Like a naked runway
Right.
theme. Imagine the audacity if that was a theme and you just came out, no makeup, completely naked, and they just blurred you. That'd be really good.
Just what, in heels?
No.
Just barefoot.
Absolutely nothing. And you could justify it by saying like, we're always putting on a show and an act, but I really want to strip it down for the first time in my life to me.
Well, and RuPaul's famous quote, we're all born naked and the rest is drag.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if like you got eliminated, you would be the person who went down completely naked and they had to pixelate the whole thing.
You better get your season 7 application in, babes. They're going to be filming it soon.
Okay. Right, so Relisa is... Well, I wrote here, Relisa's going home.
Yeah. She might as well just got up and walked out of the door at that point.
So, yeah, Relisa's going to get to choose the performance order. I liked Lil at this point. Lil's like, I think it'll be fine.
She says, it's all about delivering it, isn't it? She's delivering it, ... isn't it? It sure is.
So people are like, I'd like to go second. I want to do this. I want to do that. And Relisa says, you know what? I'm just going to pick names out of a hat. So she writes down everyone's names on little pieces of paper. She chucks them on the table. And one by one, she opens them.
Yeah, and first of all, the lineup is Kyron, Lavoie, Lil, Mom, and Relisa. Then she swaps it around, so it's Relisa, Kyron, Lavoie, Lil, and Mom. And then Lil goes, I want to go third. So she changes it again, and the final lineup is Relisa, Kyron, Lil, Lavoie, and Mom.
And she says about Lil, she's like, I just want Lil to feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nice.
I don't blame her.
And Lavoie, like, pretends to cause a fuss. It's like, what? Shut up.
Yeah.
You're fine wherever you go.
She could have gone like after the credits of the show rolled and still won the challenge.
Exactly.
She's done it from like the car park. She's fine. So we get a little writing moment, and all I really want to talk about is first of all the royalty-free clown music as opposed to the licensed clown music that they can't use. What's that?
Tears of a Clown.
Yeah. And there was a gorgeous close-up of Lil writing her stuff in her book. She had gorgeous coloured nails and she had really nice handwriting. And I thought, I could look at that forever.
What kind of handwriting did she have?
It was quite like loopy and and it seemed very neat and like unexpected.
It's good. Did you have to do was there like a set style of handwriting you're all meant to do?
I don't know. I had a very confusing time because at my primary school, I was left-handed. I remember having to do fountain pen writing for some reason.
Oh, that rings a bell.
Yeah, and my school was very off curriculum as well. It was a real like renegade school, so I felt like we weren't doing what everyone else in the country was doing.
What gets me is that I seem to remember we're all kind of taught like a style guide or whatever.
Yeah.
But everyone's handwriting looks completely different.
I just all I can remember at that period of time is that I was never without ink all over my hands and all over my fingers and on my school uniform and on my face, where I'd smudged it on the page with my kind of, left hand that was breaking the rules. I've always been a rebel, That one of the things that you and Lil have in common is she says she's struggling to even remember who any of the eliminated queens are.
Yeah.
I will say, it took me a second once they started talking to old Shower McGee. I was like, who's that? And then I remembered, oh yeah, of course, she did go in a pretty spectacular fashion.
Yeah. They really went for it as well with her. So then we've got a couple of queens.
Who's coming in?
We got a couple of queens. It's Michael Maruli and someone else.
Ella Vidae.
Yeah. Who
My
the fuck
nemesis.
is she?
Was my nemesis on that season. She was in the season with Crystal Versace. She was in
Why
that
was
one.
she your nemesis?
I found her to be deeply irritating and still did on this fine day today.
Well, any flashbacks to her in the roast weren't very good.
That's what I thought. I thought anytime they did a Michael Maruli flashback, it was a fucking fantastic joke, which I will quote here. The first one is her saying to Kate Butch, "Kate is so ugly, her vibrator went limp."
Solid.
That's really funny.
Her one later where she's like, well, I really like jokes that build.
Yes.
And she says, for example, Ella, you're blah, 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 and it builds and builds and builds and builds. And
I don't do charity or animals. Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
Kyron reveals that she's going to be doing it in a character and that she has clowning training. And I thought, Ben, how do you feel about that? Wouldn't you love to have gone to clown school with Kyron? It caused you physical pain to even imagine it, didn't it?
It's very So my friend Aaliyah lives in Montreal, and there's an aesthetic there, which is very someone going around on like a tricycle, and it's clowny, and it's just like French Montreal,
Like
clowny.
that joke about that Amy Poehler did about Wes Anderson at the Golden Globes all those years ago, that he arrived in a bicycle made of tuba parts. Bum, 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 bum. I couldn't sleep the other night. The reason I said that is because I couldn't sleep the other night, and I got served up kind of a supercut of every Tina Fey and Amy Poehler monologue and joke from the 3 years of the Golden Globes that they did. It went on for 40 minutes, and I watched it until I think 1:30 a.m. Kind of blank-faced, but really happy.
Lovely. You know what I'm doing at the moment is like, I'll go to bed, turn off the lights, and I'll start watching something on YouTube, and then fall asleep, and then I'll just fall asleep with the phone in my bed.
Oh.
Do you ever have that?
Well, my phone's always in my bed. I have it on the pillow next to me because I listen to an audiobook out loud from it, so I like
But
to
is
have
it
it
plugged
close.
in?
Yeah.
Oh, you see, I've got one of those little things you put
Oh,
it
you're a
on.
damn fool. I've got an extra long cord so that it can always be in the bed next to me. Their best joke was the year that 12 Years a Slave was nominated at the Golden Globes, and Amy Poehler says, 12 Years a Slave, you know, it's a great movie. It really changed my mind about slavery.
Yes,
and then Tina Fey's like, well, what did you think? And she just cuts her off. So good. I did laugh at that one in bed. Anyway.
So at this point, the phrase cue cards, I've written down 3 times. Like, people are like, oh, blah, blah, cue cards. Oh, yeah, cue cards. Cue. There's nothing more UK production.
We cannot do
Talk
this
about
again.
cue
We
cards.
cannot talk about that. The sticky labels and the printer. We can't do it. We've done it so many times.
Cards.
Can print directly onto the cue card. Can you?
Never worked. Always get stuck.
Does that work by the time you get to Manchester and plug your laptop into the printer? No, it doesn't.
Oh, but you got to be careful because those cue cards are quite expensive. So should I buy an extra box? That's an extra £500.
Yeah, that production manager's always got stashed a box of cue cards under her desk, isn't she?
She knows. Yeah, my final note here for this section is, Ella, isn't that funny?
Yeah, and I think Michael really does some really good advice just in general, and Ella's is generique at best.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, be yourself. Do it with some conviction. Okay. Yeah, Michael Maruli says you should treat it like you're doing your very own comedy special and everyone's there to watch you.
Yeah.
And then you should feel like it's your thing and you're safe. I thought that was good advice.
And you should do it in a way where people are excited
Yes.
to get roasted.
I always said get them on your side first and then, which is, you know. And I love that they're like, oh, LeVar, are you nervous about any of this? And she's like, oh, you know. And it's like, oh, come on.
I mean, as we said before, Lavoie and Michael Maruli, cut from the same cloth, the two of them.
And that cloth is available in Gran Canaria from a fabric store.
Yeah.
And it's leopard print.
Oh, God, I have seen, now that, it's becoming winter in the Northern Hemisphere, some gays trotting off to Gran Canaria. Oof.
They tried to do a mirror chat and I didn't write down one single word of it.
Oh, I haven't written anything, yeah.
Oh my God, we've been, this is going to be our shortest episode to date. But they're all getting along too well for anything to really be talked about.
Yeah. Only thing is what? Lavoie being like, can't believe you put me forward.
Yeah.
Right, main stage.
I guess we talked about the Golden Globes for a while. Now, I think Hadrian's Wall came up, didn't it? So, main stage, Rue is dressed as what I described as a space angel.
She's in a sort of silver petal dress. Now, you always say,
I do always
don't
say.
forget, she doesn't dress on theme. But after a while, I was like, oh, is it clown hair? Her hair was very weird.
Yeah, maybe.
It was clown meets The Simpsons.
She's unpredictable.
Who have we got on the panel?
Michelle, Alan in a lovely red cheetah print suit, and Siobhan McSweeney from Derry Girls. Mm-hmm. And she does a literal prop gag with a horn and goes, honk, which I enjoyed.
She's having a great time.
And Rue announces that the main stage category is going to be called Semi-Final Vinyl. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah? Right, should we do this roast?
Oof magoof.
I've preheated the oven. Let's put in the roast. That should be the theme for next year for the roast. It should all be in a giant oven.
Well, never forget or never remember to start with that Pharamone the queen, the one who looked like Christina Aguilera in Burlesque, she came out and she bombed really badly, but very famously, now people quote her all the time, where her first line was, "Let's get this roaster cooking." People say it all the time. I loved Pheromone. She was great. So, up first is Releaser. Yeah, inexplicably, everyone's just dressed as a clown, and that's the only clown element that we're going to have, apart from some character choices. Mm-hmm. So, Releaser comes out, and she's scattered.
She's scattered, but she's not nervous.
No.
She's just happy. She's doing her thing. She's being herself, doing her thing.
I do think she came armed with some bits, which had some mild success.
So she says that the judges are like animals. So she does different animal impressions for each judge.
Yeah, there's no real jokes there. She's just doing animal impressions and doing a lot of, like, as we used to call them back in the day, slut drops.
Oh, yeah.
She's really incorporates a lot of kind of grinding and slut drops. I guess that was her point of, like, I'll do what I like doing and try and make that into the kind of roast. Didn't really make any sense. It wasn't funny, but it was better than her stumbling over words and trying to get actual jokes out. Mm-hmm. She kind of fumbles her first joke, which is trying to compare the eliminated queens to the hotel buffet and getting salmonella.
It wasn't bad, though.
It was fine. Then she makes a very bold choice, which is to describe how some of the different girls piss by filling her mouth with water and kind of dropping it into... No, because you'll have to spit it back into the same cup, and I don't want to... Oh, I can tell you that came through lovely through the headphones.
Did it? Give me some direction.
It was very... No, it was too... I don't want to hear it anymore. It was too wet and intimate.
She did a good one from Michelle.
Yes.
I'll try and do that one. Hang on.
That was gorgeous. It's kind of like a sound machine. Babbling brook, it kind of sounded like. Yeah, she was all over the place, but I think she did the best she could do. It was an okay performance. It wasn't painful.
Yeah, I agree.
And Lavoie says, "Oh, it's like we're behind closed doors at the GP's office," when she was doing all those piss noises.
Very Lavoie joke.
Yeah.
So next up,
your favorite, Claggy Crevice.
I just got a shiver down my back. So Kyron,
I'll be honest with you. I've really been kind of promoting your dislike of Kyron and really kind of skirting my own opinion, because I do think that Kyron's very talented and I've enjoyed their work in quite a few challenges. But this was a hard pass for me.
So tell me what Kyron was doing, please.
Kyron comes out dressed like a rotten banana and is playing the character of Claggy Crevice, a deep-voiced kind of clown. She spends way too much time explaining who she is. Rue's, smile is getting kind of more and more tight and teethy and pained. Although she does a double hit of a joke, which is very funny. She said that Kiki Snatch's wigs are so dry they make Dita's face look moist, which is very funny. Mm-hmm. And then followed it up with, Kiki's wigs are so dry they make Chanel's fake tears look wet. Mm-hmm. That was very funny.
Good.
2 really good jokes. If she'd done a whole set without doing a character with those kind of jokes, I think she could have won, because they were funny.
And then she also did What's Her Name, like being eliminated by a shower.
Yes. And then really good post Kyron interview bite from Lil, where she's like talking about the voice that Kyron's doing, because it's a very deep voice. She's like, I grew up with a lot of women that sound like that.
Yeah. Do you also notice throughout all the sets, there was a lot of silence?
Yes, a lot of room tone was happening, wasn't there?
Yeah, for all of them.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Except for Lavoie's, obviously.
So next up was Lil. What were your general thoughts about Lil's set?
I wrote, first of all, I think this is the worst so far. But then she started getting things wrong, and it was genuinely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I laughed so much. She made a good joke about Alan's dead dog.
Yes.
And she ended with a great knock-knock joke. Knock-knock, who's there? Debt collectors. And then she just ran.
Yeah, and she did when she started falling apart, when she was stumbling over her words, she went very conversational, and she started. This is exactly how it would be talking to Lil. She went, "Do you remember that news reporter who, like, live on air was like, oh, what? She's like, I've just done that." Just really like, that was just in her brain as a reference point. And so that, she kind of succeeded in her failure really well.
Had a great time in the end.
Yeah, I left with a smile on my face. Yeah, you're right. The knock joke was a really good way to end it.
And then Lavoie.
Jesus Christ.
I just wrote, thank goodness.
The funniest run here for me was when she turned to Dita and went, "Dita, can you just stop interrupting me?"
Dita got a lot, didn't she?
And then she left that pause. She's like, "I left that silence for you to say something there, Dita." And she still didn't say anything.
And then she said, "It's just so stupid. Dita, it stands for dinosaur in tights." So stupid.
And that prop that she pulled out.
I didn't get it.
Because that queen slipped in the shower.
Yeah, but
she
what did
pulled
it
out one of
say?
those. It said, I think. Oh god, I wrote it down later.
I got the fact that it was a shower mat, but I didn't understand.
It said "soap away," like soap, soapy away. It's really good.
Oh, I get it now. Because
very
I wrote
funny.
it as like. I didn't read it as that.
It was
soapy
moving. Yeah,
away.
I didn't write it. I didn't realize until later, and then I retroactively was like, "That's a really good prop joke."
Also, just a fantastic observational, I don't know, comedy, whatever. Having a fall versus falling over.
Yes, really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Very happy with that. She's had a fall.
Yeah, and I didn't you feel like, in terms of editing, it felt like we were watching like a 20-minute set at like the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Like I felt like she got every single one of her jokes made it to air, as opposed to the others that got kind of a bit of a chop around.
She was just having a blast as well.
Yeah, and then she ended it with, I think, also one of her funniest jokes, which was, "Okay, let's have a 3-minute silence or marmalade set." Like,
Yeah.
that was just really good.
And then finally it's Marm. I've written first up, I hate her confident strut. She comes out. But she does a fine job.
Yeah, I wrote a note to myself here because she kept talking to Octavia to start with. I put, "Aki's fun, isn't she?"
Aki.
They just kept cutting to her. She's having a really good time. And it's at this point I realized that they had, every single time that they cut to Kiki Snatch, did you notice that she was eating more and more popcorn? They clearly had given them all like popcorn as if to be like, "Oh, you're in the audience." Everyone else was just sitting there. Kiki was shoving that popcorn into her face. Like every time they cut to her, she was like just going, "Har, har, har." It just really made me laugh. It's like she must have gone through a whole tub.
Yeah.
I've heard that Brick at Stonewall joke before on Drag Race. The one about like, "Oh, she's not old enough to be to remember the first brick being thrown at Stonewall, but she is the brick." I've heard that one's been done. I think it was in a musical and everything. Someone played the brick.
Chanel can sew because she's a prick.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to Rue's music. Oh no, hang on. I threw up listening to Rue's music. Her checking the notes. Good. Solid.
Yeah, she's a little. It's a little cold, isn't it? There's a lack of like joy there.
Yeah.
Where like,
and also her laugh in real life is so annoying.
But just picture Lavoie doing the exact same jokes. It would have been like a barn burner.
But Lavoie is just so joyous. That's just who she is. So it makes sense that she wants to come out and tell jokes.
Right.
It's like brand.
Yeah. It feels like, yeah, you're right. It feels like mom is pushing against what she should be doing.
Yeah.
Even though I think she thinks she's quite the comedian.
Yeah. Hence that confident strut.
Quite the Lucille Ball.
Quite the Jennifer Saunders, the Joe Brand, the
Victoria
for
Wood.
words. That's where I was going. Shall we do
the runway? Yeah, it's semi-final vinyl. Who's up first?
It's Relisa. Plastic raincoat with umbrella. It's transparent. It's got pink bits. Kind of cool.
She says it's a Blade Runner reference.
Yeah.
I've never seen a frame of a Blade Runner movie.
I've seen both.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. I know Blade Runner falls into the very niche category of you accepting sci-fi and fantasy.
I love sci-fi. It's not fantasy. There's no like giant lizard flying through the sky with a magic wand or bullshit like that.
And who's next?
Kyron.
Sure.
Red and black latex. It's a bad red color. Oh, yeah. Someone makes, I think Rue makes a joke, Sonic the Hedgehog, which is very good.
And you won't get this reference, but any listeners will get it. Shout out to season 6's Vivacious, who did this exact same look, but in a very different way on her season.
I saw an interview this week with Meg Stalter, and she said that one thing she struggled with when she was a guest judge in Drag Races, she was always really worried at this point of like saying a pun over someone else. So like Sonic the Hedgehog. No, you go. No,
They
you
don't
go.
have an order. I thought they had an order for it. Oh, it's just a free for all.
Apparently.
Oh God, that's really that. Yeah, I wouldn't say a word.
Yeah.
Next up is Lil. Lil is doing a pretty amazing outfit. She's doing the Marilyn Monroe Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend kind of iconic pink dress look, but the whole dress is in vinyl, like rubber. And underneath it, she's wearing a full black latex gimp suit with the whole face kind of attachment as well.
Marilyn Gimp.
And I love that she's got gimp suit, then wig on top of gimp suit. It's really fun.
That's great.
It's really cool.
Next up is Lavoie, and I've written awful.
Yeah.
It's Records meets Starlight Express. I wrote that before, and then she says, kind of look like Starlight Express.
Yeah, she references Bucks Fizz, Sonia, and then says, I look like I'm in Starlight Express. Yeah, this is yet another example of a Lavoie look that I don't like, but I like
her.
it.
Yeah.
This is bad. I like it. That's my general note. Now,
Oh, God.
what is the final look? Marmalade. Creole lady marmalade.
Marm is dressed as a fucking gramophone.
I will note, I wrote down, this is great execution, and I hate it.
Yeah. As I texted you earlier, I fucking hate this.
Even down to the detail of her one glove coming down to the point of one like nail for the needle.
Yeah.
It's really good. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I noticed in her interview that she described the bodice as a bodice.
A bodice.
Like it's right with goddess.
Right, I've got a dress with a really gorgeous bodice.
Someone says E.T. gramophone home, which I really enjoyed. I think it was Alan.
Clunk, 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 clunk,
I was like,
clunk.
great. Thank you.
Judges' critiques.
Sure thing. I like the judge's comment. I can't remember who it was about release. There were some laughs, just not that many.
For release, it wasn't really roast. It was more like a light grill.
Yeah, and they were a little lukewarm on her look as well, saying it was a bit kind of undercooked.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Cute, but not. She didn't push it far enough.
Well, she should have done what you said, just worn just the Mac, and come out with nothing on underneath.
Yeah, why not? So Kyron. So apparently at this point, Michelle she hates spikes. She's very over these looks with big spikes on them.
Yeah, she's not wrong. There was definitely a run in Drag Race where everyone kind of did, there was kind of a lot of Lady Gaga and spikes knocking around. I think they've done their time. I do agree. It's a little done from all my drag knowledge that I do every weekend, And yeah, they were a little harsh on Kyron, saying that she had good jokes, but she had more in her. And Alan was like, you basically got trapped in the persona, and they wanted to hear Kyron do the roast.
Yes. Yes. So Lil, her outfit, fresh and taboo.
Alan says, you can come for me, you can come for my looks, but don't come for my dead dog.
And then later said the only way she could have, taken it further is if she dug up the dog and dumped it in front of me. Very good.
That was good. Yeah, and Siobhan had a good point, which she said if she could just channel all of the amazingness she did when she was fucking up and craft that into an act, she's like the perfect person, basically.
Yeah. Lavoie, joy. I've written here, just win it already.
Yeah.
What was the season we watched where we're like, well, this person's just won? Who was that? Like the word go, pretty much. Maybe it was the Vivian season, actually. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been the kind of clearest winner of the UK show so far. And I think Rue says to Lavoie, you are UK drag. Oh no, Michelle says that you're UK drag through and through. That's really, I don't know. She got some. Yeah, Lavoie got amazing critiques. Rue calls Mom a lady, which I liked.
Her jokes are quite bitchy and mean.
Yeah. Alan said you need a better hit rate. And they all love her
outfit that she made herself. And when she said that, Alan went, yeah, cool. Untuck. Let's take that needle off the fucking gramophone.
Put the needle
off it.
That would have been good if it was the lip sync song and Mom had to lip sync. Like, that would have been kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Have they ever done it to a Danny song on UK?
I think so. Yeah.
Better than whatever bloody song we ended up hearing at the end of the episode.
A song that seemed to be made by AI. We'll come back to it.
About 20 people on it.
So, Untucked. Lavoie talks about how she's worked very hard at being a comedian.
Yes.
Good for her. Yeah. Kyron here.
Right, old pissy pants, isn't she?
Says that stumbling at this point in the competition is a nightmare.
Right, old vinegary pissy pants, isn't she? She's not happy. I do like Kyron says it in her interview. It's basically Lavoie and then a bottom four.
Yeah. Fair. Meanwhile, Lil's quite pleased with herself.
She's having a great
She's
time.
like, I came here to push myself and I have. At this point, she's just lying back on the sofa.
Yeah, she's almost like she's in therapy. She's like fully reclined, but she's just like cackling away to herself, isn't she? And then Relisa feels like she faced her demons. And I feel like at this point, Relisa kind of was like, I've had a great time on the show. Thank you for having me. I'll see you all soon. Like, I think she was just convinced she was going to go this week.
I just think they both could have gone to
Yeah, I do too.
So, should we go to results?
Lil's final word is, how am I going to fight anyone looking like this?
Yeah.
And then she lays back and does a Cilla Black impression and laughs to herself.
Okay, so, Lavoie wins. Duh.
I've never seen you look or sound like that before. That was like looking at a different person and hearing a different person. I don't like that character. Don't bring him back.
Okay, I'm going to try and do it again. Wait, what is this character? Fraser.
I've never seen your face take on that configuration before. I didn't like it.
That's good.
So safe is Kyron and Mom, and the bottom two is Relisa and Lil. They're going to be singing. They're going to be lip syncing along to "Crazy What Love Can Do" by
David Guetta, Becky Hill,
Ella
and
Vidae,
Ella Henderson,
Susan Jones. Your mum's sister, Pam from down the street.
Why didn't they have Louisa Johnson on that track as well?
I don't know. And why wasn't it just "I came here for love"? Not even David Guetta.
Oh, and they could have put Jess Glynn in it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Standing by nude do.
Well, as I told you,
Oh yeah.
I've foolishly booked one Jet2 flight,
Darling, hold my hand.
not even a return. And the number of emails they send me, like, do you want to purchase a small tub of Pringles in advance of your flight on Jet2 holidays?
Darling, hold my hand.
Like, it's like a 3-hour flight. I just stop talking to me.
You're like, we're used to flying on Southwest. They just leave you alone.
Yes.
They just sling you on the plane and tell you to get on there.
So many garishly coloured emails like popping into my inbox. Maybe I want to, in advance, get a preheated toasty. I'm like, oh.
Although I was really proud of my joke when we were talking about that.
What?
We were talking about Jess Glynn flying on Jet2 and I called it Jess 2.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, this lip sync. It's a lot of just walking around and Lil really struggling to move in her outfit. Why did she take her skirt off near the end of the song?
Who knows?
It's like she almost remembered at that point that she could take it off.
She very gently and slowly took it off and was very careful not to fall.
Yeah, it really is. It's a real double walk around, and then Relisa just pulls out a couple more tricks. But
Look,
They should have just cleared the decks.
love Lil, but just send them both home. Come on, go into the final with 3 people. So, turns out, Lil, bye. That's the phrase she says. Hey, Lil, bye.
She goes, thanks for having me. I've had a really good time. I'm
And
really
she's,
good at it."
I thought a joke was coming because
No.
she's like, I just want to say
Yeah.
to both of you that of course.
Her exit line is, she goes, see you later, girls, as she's walking down the runway. Her exit line is, ta-ra. And then she breaks the lipstick, writing the lipstick there. She goes,
That was-
oh, shit.
That was so funny. Oh, shit.
And her final words are, I just can't wait to see them all after we get out of here and just get pissed.
Yeah.
I thought, do you know what? Her and Lavoie would love to have a drink with the 2 of them.
That'd be lovely.
It would be a right fucking laugh.
Yeah. Right, laugh.
And Octavia, throw her in as well.
LAF. Wait, which one's Octavia again?
Welsh one, the one that you, Aki.
Aki. Yeah, nah, she's not.
Oh, she looks fun for her.
fun for a bev.
Yeah, a few cheeky Vimtos with her.
So
Remember
next week, it's the final.
Yeah.
Who's that guy that pops into the workroom wearing a little hat?
It's Ginger Johnson, last year's winner.
Oh.
The one who I have a crush on.
Oh,
I was about to say had a
that's
crush
Ginger
on.
Johnson.
Have a crush on, yeah. Looking good.
Oh yeah, now I remember him.
Yeah, this finale's on Thanksgiving, isn't it? While the UK is in the grip of Drag Race fever, we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving together.
Yeah, we are. Have you spoken to Bordeaux about the menu? Have you heard?
I heard the word chicken.
Oh.
We're having a real weird international Thanksgiving with no Americans attending. Scottish, English, and South African.
Yeah.
We're going to do our own thing.
Yeah.
What else do you do on Thanksgiving? What's traditional? Get drunk and have an argument?
Go see a movie. We are going to see Wicked next week.
We are seeing Wicked on Monday.
Yeah.
And I will be so angry with you if there's any children in that screening.
Oh, because you were suggesting we go to like what, a 9:20 screening. For how long is this movie?
7 hours?
We would get out at midnight.
You would have woken up to the jarring strains of Defying Gravity at like midnight.
I'm not doing that. So yeah, we got a nice one at what,
5:45.
Great.
Kid friendly, it said on the thing.
My friend from work, she went to a screening yesterday and she was like, oh God, are people going to sing? No one sang.
I saw someone on Twitter today, whether this was a joke or not, they said that they saw 2 groups that looked like show choirs coming into their screening. Anyway.
Right, what are we doing?
Regular episode this, Drag Race that, finale next week. My mum's here soon.
You're welcome.
Bye. Standing in the doo.
Jet 2 holidays.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.